So over the last month or so, we've talked about radioactive shrimp. Actually, the last couple months. Radioactive shrimp, we've seen it recall at Kroger and Walmart for the cesium-137, I believe it's called. Shipped in from Indonesia, I believe it was. Indonesia ships millions of pounds of shrimp a year to the United States. So, anyway, now I guess we're finding it in spices. Guys, when it rains, it pours. I'll tell you what, I just went over a recall. I just went over a major recall at Walmart and Trader Joe's. We did that video last night. Make sure you check it out if you missed it. I don't even know what to say anymore, guys. I don't even really know how to explain this stuff, but we're going to try. I'm going to use ABC News website today to go over this. They seem to have the most information on it. So we're just going to dig right into it here. We'll talk a little bit about it, after we find out what the heck is going on. Okay, so on ABC News website, after massive shrimp recalls, the FDA finds radioactive contamination in spices too. Federal regulators have detected possible radioactive contamination in a second food product sent to the U.S. from Indonesia, even as recalls of potentially tainted shrimp continue to grow. The discovery adds to questions about the source of the unusual problem. I agree, it's unusual. U.S. Food and Drug Administration officials last week blocked import of all spices from PT Natural Java Spice of Indonesia after federal inspectors detected cesium-137 in a shipment of cloves sent to California. That follows the import alert imposed in August on the company PT Bahari Makhmuri Sajati, or BMS Foods, which sends millions of pounds of shrimp to the U.S. each year. Cesium-137 is a radioactive isotope created as a byproduct of nuclear reactions, including nuclear bombs, testing, reactor operations, and accidents. It's widespread around the world with trace amounts found in the environment, including soil, food, and air. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officials detected cesium-137 in shipping containers of shrimp sent by PT Bahari Makhmur Sajati to several U.S. ports. CBP officials flagged the potential contamination to the FDA, which tested samples of the shrimp and detected cesium-137 in one sample of breaded shrimp. Ooh, breaded shrimp. Oh boy, we're not buying any shrimp. We're just not buying any more shrimp until this all blows over. I just don't know anymore. This month, FDA officials detected cesium-137 in one sample of cloves exported by PT Natural Java Spice, which sends spices to the U.S. and other countries. Records show the company sent about 440,000 pounds of cloves to the U.S. this year. No food that triggered alerts or tested positive has been released for sale in the U.S., FDA officials emphasized. Let me know your thoughts down below on that. I'm not even going to give my opinion. I'm just going to read. But hundreds of thousands of packages of imported frozen shrimp sold at Kroger and other grocery stores, Walmart, across the U.S. have been recalled because they may have been manufactured under conditions that allowed them to be contaminated, the agency said. I just don't. I feel. I don't know. Just getting the information out, guys. Just a messenger here. I want everybody to be aware and in the know of what's going on. Although the risk appears to be small, the foods could pose a, quote, potential health concern, end quote, yeah, I'd say, for people exposed to low levels of cesium-137 over time. The levels of contamination detected are far below the level that could trigger the need for health protections, but long-term exposure could raise the risk of certain cancers. That sounds like a problem. It's not clear whether there's a common source of contamination for the shrimp and the spices. FDA and CBP officials said their investigations are continuing. Well, I hope they expedite. I hope they get it quicker. We need to get this information out fast. We need to find out what other products are affected, if any, and how do we get rid of it all. I don't know. Okay. Contaminated scrap metal or melted metal at an industrial site near the shrimp processing plant in Indonesia may be the source of the radioactive material, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. Nuclear regulators in Indonesia said they detected the radioactive isotope at the site outside Jakarta. It's possible that type of contamination could come from recycling old medical equipment that contains cesium-137, according to Steve Bigleski. I hope I said that right. A nuclear medicine expert at the Georgia Institute of Technology. Contaminated transport containers or shipping methods such as trucks, boats, or shared materials could also be a source, he said. For now, consumers should avoid eating or serving shrimp recalled for possible cesium-137 contamination, the FDA said. To date, 4 firms have issued recalls of shrimp since August, including these ones listed here. Give me just a second. Oh, that coffee's good. Starbucks. Needed Starbucks. Starbucks I make myself, which in my opinion is way better. Okay. August 21st, 2025 was the Southwind Foods LLC recall. August 22nd, 2025, Beaver Street Fisheries LLC recall. August 27th, 2025, Aquastar USA Corp recall Kroger brand. August 28th, 2025, Aquastar Corp recall USA Aquastar brand. August 29th, 2025, Southwind Foods LLC recall expansion of original recall. This is what I'm talking about. Like they've never done stuff like this before, but now these companies they're expanding these recalls out because the initial recall has spread to something else, right? So this is why we got to be careful and we have to watch some of these things that we do and what we're buying in the stores. When we don't know, like if it's come from Indonesia, I would just kind of keep an eye on everything in the grocery stores and a lot of different food right now of products that are coming from Indonesia. Because obviously if we have these spices, right, the cloves, 440,000 pounds to be exact, and, you know, all of this shrimp, millions of pounds coming in. Well, some of you have brought up the comment, some of you guys have commented like, well, how do we know that that's not, you know, mixing in with other products? Well, this is what I was talking about. It's what we were all talking about. Like, okay, I don't know where cloves come into that, but if it's near the same areas or the same machines or metal, like what they're saying in some areas, that could be, I mean, it could be possible, but, you know, we need to pay attention to these things because if we don't, you know, we don't want this stuff in our homes. I don't want it in my home. I don't want cesium-137 in my cabinet. Anyway, and the last one here, no, there was another one here for Southwind Foods LLC recall September 23rd, 2025 for another expansion of the original recall. And then September 23rd, 2025 from Lawrence Wholesale LLC recall Kroger brand. So if you have any of those, I don't care what the date is, I would leave. I don't know. Me personally, I would probably return it. I mean, if I had any of those despite the dates or anything, I would probably return them anyway. So if they're in your freezer, that's what I would do. I'd be like, hey, I feel uncomfortable with this. Could I please return this? Chances are Kroger would probably give you your money back. I would assume. Don't quote me on that, but I just, you know, and I'd take my tablet like, hey, you know, I don't know if this date's issued, but I don't trust it. I want my money back if I can. I don't know. That is the end of the article. Okay. So basically, keep your head on a swivel make sure that we are going over. I try to cover as many of these as I can, guys. These were two major ones that I wanted to go over today. I literally am doing this video right after we talked about the Walmart. I wanted it to be fresh in my mind. The Walmart thing just happened. This just happened. We're going to keep our eyes on everything going on. We got to make sure that we're paying attention to these things because there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of recalls. There's been a lot of problems in the stores. We got other things that are happening. We have prices that are going up that seem to just continually go up. I was reading an article from USA Today the other day, a couple days ago, and I may do another news break on it. I don't really know. There's so much to talk about. But they were talking about the different prices of things that are going up, like the 2% raises, and they were blaming beef prices because beef is going up so high that it's causing everything else to go up right now. Yeah, that could be true. I don't know if companies really need a reason anymore. I think one company will see something start to skyrocket in price and say, hey, I want to get a piece of the pie. So I don't really know. We'll just have to keep up on all this stuff, guys. I know, me and Jessica have been gone for a while. It was refreshing to get away for a while. Thank you all for tuning in to those videos. I have those all on our list of videos, all of our vlogs that we've done in Florida over the last couple weeks. And if you guys want to check those videos out to get away from the doom and gloom a little bit and have some entertainment, we were very happy to take you guys along with us in those vlogs because I had to get away from this for a little while, but it's back to business, and we need to make sure that we're paying attention to all these things. I'll be back with our daily vlogs tomorrow, but maybe stay tuned tonight. I don't really know. I may have something else out here for you guys. I may go over some of that story that I was reading about the different price increases here for the fall, and I think it is something we need to discuss. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.